Monday now to react, Missouri Republican Roy Blunt, a member of the Senate Armed Services Committee. And sir, good morning to you, and thank you for your time.
Hey, Bill, how are you this morning?
I'm doing fine, thank you. I hope you're doing well. Also, he calls it offensive. What do you say?
Well, I also heard him say trumped up hearings. I don't know what's trumped up about this. It's clear that the facts are out there, that the IRS did things that nobody should in their right mind defend. It's also clear from Benghazi, where at the time that happened, I was on the Senate Intelligence Committee, that the information was never allowed to come out that should have come out. I think the real challenge here for Republicans, frankly, is to be patient and methodical when you're outraged. It's hard to do when you're outraged, but the right thing to do here is let the facts come out. Don't try to prejudge what they are. It's more and more obvious to me that we're going to find out that more people knew about the IRS than have admitted so far they knew about it, and people are going to be upset when that happens, and they should be upset. The IRS is the scariest of all federal government agencies to the average American, and they don't like thinking that nobody's running the IRS. You know, in the first 4 years of the Obama administration, everything was George Bush's fault. Now apparently everything is nobody's fault because nobody's taking responsibility for the government anymore.
Your comment about Republicans, do you think on the Senate and House side so far they have done that? They have stuck to what you believe is a cautious approach to find the facts?
Well, I think that's happening, and I think the House hearings will and should go on. I hope that Chairman Baucus, the Democrat chairman of the Finance Committee in the Senate, and others who have said there should be Senate hearings move forward with that. And I think this is a moment when we should take our time. We should be sure we have our facts straight and see where that leads us. If nobody's running the IRS, somebody needs to. If nobody is responsible for talking points that try to explain the death of Americans overseas, somebody needs to be responsible for that. And let's see what lessons need to be learned here. And you're not going to know what lessons need to be learned until you find out what really happened.
Also, in your first answer, sir, you referred to more people knowing about this IRS scandal. How many more people and how high up?
Well, I don't know. I guess I'd be violating my own advice if I said how many more people, how high up. But it's hard for me to believe that the IRS commissioner knew about this a year ago and didn't tell anybody. It's hard for me to believe that the White House counsel knew about this a month ago and didn't tell the chief of staff. If that's the case, you don't have much of a counsel if your counsel's not telling you something this significant. And then the chief of staff, if he knew, did he tell the president? Maybe, maybe not. Somebody has to be responsible, Bill, for running the government. And that's what people expect. They don't expect a continued second term of excuses. We need a second term not of defending everything the government does, but making everything the government does better.
Two more precise questions, sir. Mr. Pfeiffer on Sunday repeatedly said that the president had learned about this matter with the IRS only a few weeks ago. Your colleague, Senator Rob Portman from Ohio, apparently gave an interview with several reporters last week, and he suggested it was, well, impossible for the president not to know about this much earlier because there were news reports about it as long as a year ago. What's your reaction to that?
Well, there were news reports out there. There was, in the terms of the IRS commissioner, one of the reasons I said last Tuesday at our leadership press conference he needed to be removed is he clearly knew about it and wouldn't give the right answer to a Ways and Means Committee, to 3 different members of Congress who wrote letters. He writes letters back and basically leads everybody to believe this isn't happening. If the president didn't know about it, I think the president needs to find out why he didn't know about it and be sure that that never happens again. These issues are too big for the president not to know about. This is not on Benghazi. The president said it was a sideshow. It's not a sideshow at all when we find out now the facts are not what the American people and the Congress was told they were. It does make a difference. In spite of Mrs. Clinton's comment that what difference does it make? It makes a big difference if you don't know why these things happen so that they can never happen again. Could we save Americans in danger in North Africa now within 10 hours if we needed to? I would hope so.
One more question. Dan Pfeiffer also said that Republicans owe Susan Rice an apology. suggesting that she misled the country when she appeared on all 5 talk shows after the attacks in Benghazi. Do Republicans owe Susan Rice an apology?
You know, I don't know what the answer to that is, but the more I read about that, the more it appears to me she wasn't involved in the discussion that led up to the points, the talking points she was given. So why would you send somebody out there who has an important title but really doesn't have the information that they need to represent the administration and the country at a critical moment like that? She may very well have been one of the victims of the information she was given.
Roy Blunt, thank you. Senator from Missouri, appreciate your time. A lot to go through, and we shall methodically throughout the week.